Hey guys, welcome back to our YouTube channel Accounts Guru Cool. Learn accounting online. So today we are here with one more content in which we are going to discuss about record to report, the technical interview question on accrual and prepaid expenses with answer. In this content, we are going to see what sort of technical interview questions ask on accrual, what sort of questions ask towards prepaid expenses, and that's all added into the technical interview round plus in assessment test, considering that how you're going to give the answer for that, what sort of questions going to be added over there, what's the meaning of that questions and how you have to give the answer for that everything we are going to discuss here in this content. So request all the member to be with us to get a more practical insight towards accounting and finance. In addition to request all the viewers to be a part of our membership to get a more knowledge that's a practical towards accounting and finance. In addition to that, you are able to get a scope to ask us to create the content as per your requirement, as per your need, or if required to connect with us to discuss something, you are able to get an opportunity for that as well. So considering, request all the viewers to be a part of membership to get a more insight about accounting and finance. And now we'll jump towards the record to report technical interview questions on accrual and prepaid expenses and how you have to answer for that. So the first question here is that a business has an accrual for electricity at 1st April 2023 of USD 250 and has paid electricity bills of USD 3,420 during the year to 31st March 24. At 31st March 24, there is an accrual for electricity of USD 310. What is the electricity charge to be included in the statement of profit and loss for the year ended 31st March 2024? This is the questions is asked in technical interview round and added in assessment test as well. So considering what sort of answer is going to be and how you're going to give the answer for this. So if you want to take a pause, you can write down your answer and just come back and to see what's the answer for that. In addition, related to any terms, if you don't have any clarity, we are going to discuss when we are giving the answer for that. So you can come back, go through with that, and then we'll jump towards the next questions. Now, if you see here, the business has an accrual for electricity. So it means that the accrual expenses as on 31st of March 2023. Wait. Okay, as on 31st March 23 is USD 250. So what is mean by accrual? So it means that the expenses was incurred during 22-23, but the invoice is not yet received. So that's reason the accruals has been created in the books of account. And when we are creating the accrual, so it means this expense pertaining to financial year 22-23, and there is no any relevance to book these expenses towards 23-24. We are going to do the payment and the payment is from the balance sheet to balance sheets, and when we are going to receive the invoice, we are going to book the invoice as an expenses account debit to vendor account credit. And as soon as we booked that expenses in the P&L, we have to do the reversal of our accruals. So the accruals reversal is going to be that the accruals account is debit to your expense account is credit. So in the P&L, you're booking that expenses and now you're doing the reversal of that. So it's going to be impact the zero and your accrual also is reversing. So accruals balance also is not going to be there and you're going to pay that amount what's on liability to that vendor as per the due date. So now this accrual expenses pertaining to the previous year. Second, has paid electricity bill. So during the year, the electricity bill paid, that's a total of 3420, 3,420. And as on 31st March, again, we have created the accruals for 310, and that's pertaining to the financial year 23-24. Now, what is the electricity charge to be included in the statement of profit and loss for the year ended 31st March 24? So now, how much is total electricity bill we have paid during the financial year is 3,420. How much is total accruals? That accruals is going to be the add, that's a 310. So the total expenses booked in the P&L, that's uh, this plus this. That's a 3,730. Now, out of that, 215 pertaining to the previous financial year and going to reversal through the reversal of accrual entries. That's going to be less the accrued expenses for 22-23. That's a FY. Now, and that's going to be 250. If you do the addition subtraction of this total electricity expenses booked less reversal of the accruals, so total electricity expenses booked to P&L for FY 23-24, and that expenses is going to be 3,550. So that's going to be hit to your P&L for the financial year 23-24. That's the answer for the questions. This one towards what is the electricity expense to be included in the statement of profit and loss for the year ended 31st March 2024. So this again, total electricity bill is paid 3,420. Accruals pertaining to 23-24, that's the 310. Total expenses booked to P&L 3,730. Out of that, less accrued expenses or reversal of the accrual expenses pertaining to 22-23, that's a 215. So total electricity expenses booked to P&L for FY 23-24 is 3,515. Now we'll jump towards the second question. This is based on the prepaid expenses. At 31st March 2023, a business has an insurance prepayment of USD 100. During the year, the business pay USD 600 in respect of various insurance contracts. The closing accrual for insurance is USD 130. The statement of profit and loss charge for insurance for the year ended 31st March 24 is. This is a question asked in technical interview round and added into assessment test as well. What's the answer is going to be? Take a pause, go back, write it down, come here and see the answer for that with all clarifications, explanations on that. So if you see here, again, as on 31st March 23, the accruals insurance prepayment. So the insurance prepayment is rupees 100. During the year, the business pay USD 600. So paid in FY 23-24, that's the 600. The closing accrual for insurance. So the accrual, that's the accrued expenses for this financial year is 130. Now the question is going to be the statement of profit and loss charge for insurance for the year ended 31st March 24 is, that's a question mark. Now we'll discuss towards the prepaid expenses. The prepaid expenses, it means that expenses which we incurred, and for that the service is going to be provided in future period. So till the times we are not going to get the services for that, that's the prepaid expenses for us. So it means this insurance expenses prepaid going to be expense of in 23-24 FY. So this is also we have to treat as an expenses for 24. Prepaid FY 23-24, that's the second one. Paid in FY 23-24 is 600. That's pertaining to that financial year. Second, again, accrued insurance is around 130. So we know what is meant by accrued expenses as well. So considering all these, the total expense, so insurance prepayment, that's the expenses for 23-24. Prepaid, that's pertaining to 23-24, plus accrued expenses pertaining to 23-24 is 130. So we have to do the addition of all these expenses to treat as an expenses for us. So considering the statement of profit and loss, the charge for insurance for the year ended 31st March 24, so insurance expense for FY 23-24 is going to be 830. So this is the answer for this technical interview questions and assessment question. That's the answer for that. 830 is going to hit to your P&L. So now that's the two questions we have discussed here towards the record to report technical question on accrual and prepaid expenses with answer. So thanks guys for being with us to know more about this, and we are going to create the more content in similar way so you are able to get in more uh, actual and practical questions what's asked in interview and added in assessment test and how you have to give the answer for that. So thanks again for being with us to get more insight about accounting and finance. So request all the members to like, share and ask the questions what we have to create as per your need. Thank you.